Are there any educational structures or institutions in the Commonwealth that are not under the authority of laws that are passed by the legislature forming education policy?
Mm. There was with the SOL Innovation Committee. I think that is a group that is very much non-elected, and they were there. I actually put in a bill to eliminate them, and through a negotiation with some things, the bill actually passed. So they're now gone. But the others end up being. You'll see, for instance, that the governor, especially under an administration, they will set up subcommittee and working groups, and they'll come out with some pretty crazy things. One wanted to do away with basically higher level math, and others have been really pushing critical race theory, but they're doing it saying this is not critical race theory. It just has all the components of critical race theory. So what you often have with some of the more progressive governors is you do have these unelected groups, and they put down a marker. They don't have the ability to have the effect of law, so they can't change policies, but they will come up with a packaged product. And that packaged products goes to the school board, and they adopt it because it's been well considered, and it's a recommendation of a group, or they'll bring it to the legislature. A great example of this is we put together, actually through the code, there was a working group, but they basically came up with a transgender policy. And I know that's controversial, but the basic idea of this group was to say that there are no more boys or girls. Instead, if you had a locker room and a boy one day decided he wanted to be a girl, he could just go in there. And that's exactly what they recommended and what is being pressed down on schools today. Again, it has nothing to do with teaching kids about math, history, science, and English. It's a social experiment. And this one actually said that if you have an overnight visit and you're taking the cheerleaders and the basketball players and you're going to have them, and one day one of the basketball players says, I'm feeling like a girl today, then he was allowed and required to be allowed to stay at the girls' locations. Now, parents would be horrified. I mean, this is just not natural. It's just only the loony left can think this up. But this was an unelected group that got together, came up with these policies, and now they are pushing them down on the school divisions. And I got to tell you that your school division close nearby you is going to be grappling with this someday soon.
Mm-hmm. And so these are not actually laws. They are just recommendations from think tanks. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Of sorts. They come in a couple of ways. One, they can be governors put them together. They can come in from outside liberal groups, the VEA, for instance, which is, I'm sure they're very nice people and that type of thing, but their policies are somewhere that I don't always agree with. Oftentimes they are. Right now, when you have a liberal legislature, they're actually an idea that legislators on the left have. They don't know how to formulate it yet. They don't know how to construct it. So they will put into the code a subcommittee that is required to come up with policy, and they are to provide the policy to the school board, who is, quote, to adopt the policy. So it's an unelected group coming up with the policy. The governor's appointing all the members. It goes to the boards, who are to adopt the policy. So it is driven by code, but it really is really a misuse, in my opinion, of the Code of Virginia.